Is that?
Yeah, this is real. This is, hey everyone, we're now live. I'm chatting with Gryffix about some of the silly things that didn't make it into This Week in Stupid, and she's just seen that Bono has been named on Glamour magazine's Woman of the Year list. How do you feel about that? What's your automatic reaction to that, Gryffix?
Well, I hope I'm reading it correctly. I don't know. I'm baffled. Is he is he actually on that list? He's on the Woman of the Year list.
I swear, well, that's what they say. I mean, they say Glamour magazine has been criticised for naming U2 frontman Bono on its annual Woman of the Year list.
Well, they put Caitlyn Jenner on that list, didn't they?
Yeah,
maybe
think
he's
she did win
Stunning and Brave
Woman
too.
Of the Year.
Who knows? At least he didn't run over someone, so that's one thing.
Yeah, but he's not even trying to be a woman. I mean, at least Caitlyn Jenner was like, "Look, I'm dressing up like a woman. I haven't had the surgery."
Yeah, it's getting easy now. It's
easy now.
I think I could be on that list if this is how low the standard is.
Well, you are actually a woman, so
that's one plus.
Well, yeah, I mean, but yeah, so the magazine said he was the first to be included on the list because of his campaigning for women's rights.
But that doesn't make you a woman, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Or was there some transformation overnight that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, but what I love about this is it really. I mean, this is the rationale they use to like say that Peter Thiel isn't gay because he's against like what gay people want because the regressives know what gay people want and if Peter Thiel doesn't want that and he likes dick in his ass, then that doesn't make him gay. That just means he's like some aberration. And by the same logic, right. Bono, I mean, he doesn't have to be a woman, but if he's campaigning for what quote unquote women want, then he is an honorable woman, honorary woman. Sorry.
Well, I learned something new today, I guess.
Exactly.
I thought it was a mistake. I mean, I can imagine that happening by mistake, but this is they actually intended. What was his reaction to it? Did he react?
He said that he was sure he didn't deserve it.
Oh.
Which I think is the most honest thing that anyone could say about that, really. But
what was his motivation to say he didn't deserve it? Was it because he
isn't a woman? Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't quite say how. He says he didn't deserve it, but the battle for gender equality couldn't be won unless men lead it along with women. And I can't help but feel that men leading the feminist movement would be considered remarkably patriarchal. I mean, I think that's actually the thing that the feminist movement is trying to change. Perhaps I've misinterpreted what they want, but I mean, maybe they want men leading the feminist movement. What do I know? But
I don't know. It reminds me of that South Park episode where they just get really angry that Bono tries to win everything, and now he's even winning Woman of the Year.
Yeah, you just can't stop, can you, Bono?
Yeah. Fucking asshole.
Yeah, what a twat. Right, so he's on a list that includes Gwen Stefani, actress and campaigner Zendaya, and Olympic gymnast Simone Biles. Never heard of them. He said he was grateful for the honor and said that men were largely responsible for the problem, so we have to be involved in the solutions. What do you think of men being largely responsible for gender inequality? To be fair, they are completely responsible for it. I mean, if men just decided to be a little more lazy and less competent...
Well, yeah, in his worldview, that would make sense.
Yeah.
In his whole patriarchal worldview, yes. But, well, I don't even believe in that to begin with. So if I can't agree with him on A, then the whole question of who would be responsible would not even be relevant.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're not a real woman either. Got it.
No. Shazam. Maybe that means I can win Woman of the Year next year.
I don't think you're going to win Woman of the Year any year, according to these people. You don't have the right thoughts. That's the problem. But so the magazine's decision was heavily criticised on social media, if you can believe it. Comedy writer.
That never happens.
Yeah, no. God, social media is just so tranquil usually. How could you do this, Bono?
They were just sipping their tea, knitting sweaters.
So, I love that they even say it, right? Does Glamour magazine know that giving Bono Woman of the Year award this is terrible grammar. giving Bono Woman of the Year award to trying to undo patriarchy undercuts the entire point of the award. Well, what Trayvon Free has mangled there is the point I was making a second ago. Is if you're going to make a man Woman of the Year, it kind of is patriarchy in the feminist mindset, right? I mean, it has to be.
Well, yeah, but I guess I've seen a lot of them who say that they use the whole gender thing very flexible. You can identify as whatever. So if you can say someone is not gay because they're homophobic, then they can probably,
I think that we should tweet at Bono and find out exactly how long he's identified as a woman for. I think that'd be important to know. And I'd like an official statement from Bono on this, just to really clear this all up.
Bono's just better at womening than women.
Yeah, according to Glamour magazine, anyway. I mean, the authority on these things. Wow, I can't believe how long this article is. I thought this was going to be like a 3-paragraph article. I didn't read the whole thing because I thought, well, it'd be more fun to do it on the stream. But right, okay. The honor comes after Bono and his One campaign launched a "Poverty is Sexist" movement last year. How have I not heard of this? How has Bono gone under the radar for so long with his ridiculousness?
I don't know. I think you hear so much of the guy that at some point it's probably not interesting to write about him anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, but then he says that poverty's sexist.
Yeah, I don't even understand how you could. Isn't it that most homeless guys are men, right?
I think most homeless men are men. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I haven't asked them how they identify. I've just assumed their gender.
Sorry. Yeah. That's quite bigoted of you, Sargon.
Yeah, I know. I'm terrible. But I mean, most homeless people are male by a factor of 3 to 1.
Yeah, but what is their motivation behind this idea that poverty is sexist?
I don't know. They don't tell us, unfortunately.
Assuming they mean misogynistic and not misandrist.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, there's obviously no such thing as misandry, which I'm sure Mrs. Bono will point out to you if you ask her. Sorry. So I can't believe this shit is real. I mean, God. But I love this. The decision has been supported by CNN's Christiane Amanpour, who has written an article in praise of her friend Bono for magazine. She says, "I'm on Glamour's side. I think Bono is the perfect choice for the first-time honor because now 56, he's been trying to do good for as long as he's been making music."
But why do all these people forget that he doesn't have a vagina? They just brush that aside as if it's nothing.
You're not saying that all women have vaginas, are you?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Christ, that's so...
Yeah,
I was going to say homophobic.
2016, Carl.
Yeah, exactly. It is the current year, Gryffix, please.
Yeah.
So, but he's the perfect choice for this first-time honor.
Will there be a proper ceremony when he gets that award? Because I just want to see him in a cocktail dress,
I think
coming on the stage
and
crying.
I would definitely live stream the shit out of that.
I'd watch it.
But I love this. These are all really important people who are just yeah, very bravo. Have a little golf clap. But so yeah, I have to say this was one of my favorite things this week. Just why? I mean, look at his face. He looks disappointed with everything.
It's a very feminine sunglasses, though. Who knows?
Did you know that exclamation marks are feminist as fuck? There's a lot of feminism in this one because in the video this week there isn't a lot of feminism. In fact, there's no well, there is feminism, but it's coming from political pundits who are moronic.
Well, they're making up for it now, aren't they?
Exactly. But yeah, did you know that?
No, I absolutely hate the use of exclamation marks, to be honest.
Well, doesn't it strike you as quirky and
and brave?
Yeah, and all those sorts of things that people do, people who aren't exciting do to try and make themselves sound exciting.
Yeah. Well, I guess. Is there explanation for this, that this somehow is a powerful thing to do, to write full caps and use exclamation marks? Is that the theory behind it?
I guess we'll find out. They say, right, at the start of my career, I didn't dare use exclamation marks in emails. Fucking what? Okay. I worked at a business magazine and I wanted to convince my colleagues I could pull off a blazer. I couldn't. And I knew about the economy. I didn't. Emails from my boss and senior editors were brisk. Brusque or brisk? Okay. Sure, fine, it needs work. They stoked my constant fear that they hated me or thought I was stupid. I quickly correlated being smart with being unemotive. you correlate the same thing?
Being smart with being unemotive. What does unemotive mean?
It means not being terse, not showing your emotions, just getting straight to the point.
I don't even know what she's on about. Okay, so she basically had this huge personal struggle to start using exclamation marks. That is what she's going at with this. And just imagine her like laying on the pillow, at night in bed, just staring at the wall,
People will
Can't
take me
sleep.
more seriously if I use more exclamation marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing is as serious as a person who types 6 exclamation marks, 1 exclamation mark,
Yeah.
1 exclamation mark after a sentence.
Yeah, literally, I think that's where she's going with this. So
Yeah.
she says, the last thing I needed was to punctuate like a woman.
Isn't grammar like the same for everyone?
Sorry,
Punctuate like a woman. I'm a woman. I don't even know what that's supposed to look like.
I couldn't finish the sentence because that caught me off guard. She said, the last thing I needed was to punctuate like a woman who drinks pumpkin spice lattes. I don't even know if that changed anything. But
Yeah, you always have those at work.
what?
Plenty of people who punctuate like women who drink pumpkin spice lattes.
They're such a stereotype. It came as a surprise. It came as a surprise when my female boss at my next job used exclamation marks like a grammatical salt shaker. Running late, happy to see you, can you fix this typo? Thanks. But instead of questioning her intellect, I felt relief. The earnest punctuation took the edge off every message. I never wasted hours wondering if she was disappointed with me or just in a rush.
This woman really has issues.
So I'm so sorry. I'm going to mute myself in a minute. But could you imagine sitting there at your desk for hours going, he only sent me a one-word reply that was, yeah, get on with it or something.
Yeah, I think she's really overthinking this.
Yeah, exactly. God, I better write an article for the Huffington Post.
Yeah, I can understand that there might be someone out there who thinks like this, who is this autistic. But the fact that there's a journalist who then sees that and thinks, good story. That's what baffles me more.
Well, I think more interestingly, she must have solicited the Huffington Post and gone, look, right, I've got an idea for an article. I don't know whether you'll like it, but basically, I worry that I use punctuation like a woman who drinks pumpkin spice lattes, and I think I've overcome it. I think I could really help people by writing this article. Are you up for it? And they're like, yes, absolutely, this is what we need.
And is she going to go to the point why it's actually a feminist thing to use exclamation marks, or is this just her personal struggle that she shares with us?
Yeah, I mean, but looking at the slide bar there, they must have been like, yeah, we need 5,000 words, and she was like, okay, I can fill that. Just, but I don't know, but
the stigma around exclamation marks exists primarily because emotional sensitivity isn't the quality we associate with good leadership. Research shows we think masculine characteristics like being assertive, dominant, or competitive equal authority. Strengths we associate with women such as compassion, communication, collaboration are often seen as weakness in the workplace. Don Draper types are still the gold standard, despite evidence that shows employees are better motivated by bosses who care about their emotional well-being than those who rely on intimidation, especially in a time when people... This is all about an exclamation point.
But I love the way she's characterized this. A boss who's really busy is now relying on intimidation. In her mind, the boss being, he's just like, yeah, okay, great. I can trust you to get on with this. And, expecting her to work as an independent, motivated individual within the company is now relying on intimidation in this paradigm that she set out. Just, God, I hate this kind of just like, and I wonder if they even know if they're doing it, just stereotyping everything in their own heads before they've really sort of analyzed anything about it.
Well, yeah, they think in groups and in easy concepts. They think
the
world can be divided into things like oppressors and the oppressed. I mean, it's it doesn't surprise. I reached a point where nothing surprises me. I
suppose that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Eventually be so jaded that you're just like, yep, this is exactly what I expected.
And that's only because she got short replies from her boss then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does she want then? Does she want like a parchment scroll that's like delivered by an owl, like
Well, I
written?
mean, I think she just wants. Well, I mean, look, she says here. Luckily, the outdated stereotype of what makes an effective boss is changing, in part thanks to leaders who aren't afraid of expressive communication style. So the last thing I want is to hear my boss rambling about bullshit. I don't want,
You ask them
excessive
one simple
punctuation.
question.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about their fucking feelings. I want to know what they need done, and I want to know that they understand that I've done it. I mean,
You just
fucking hell.
imagine that every email you get from your boss is as long as this article.
Oh god, look! I mean, listen to this. According to an Atlantic article, Diane Sawyer, Ariana Huffington, and Nora Ephron often sign professional emails with XO, which I assume is some sort of kissing.
Yeah, it is, I think.
No one can accuse these women of lacking authority. They are the fucking bosses. No one is looking at their boss going, you know what, my boss doesn't have any authority. Do you know why? Because he used an exclamation point, or he put a kiss at the okay, maybe a kiss at the end of the gay, but just God. This is just overthinking the article. But we haven't got to the point. We haven't got to why this is feminist, have we?
I think not. Friendly emails are a sign of progress, not weakness in our working lives. The many women who already use exclamation marks on business emails know you can both act like and feeling human on Gmail and have professional success. The sooner more men and women embrace an emotive writing style, the sooner we can dispel the myth that good leaders must be steely, distant, and motivate employees through fear. Oh my god! So it is feminist because you put your emotions into writing. An exclamation mark is something emotional, apparently. And if you put that into your email, then you're brave enough to show your emotions, therefore feminist.
I just love the way it's motivation through fear. I just can't get over that. Just honestly, I don't even know how to try and describe what she's thinking. Like,
I just imagine her getting a text from her boss like, thanks, mate, and she's dun dun dun.
yeah, exactly. She goes home and goes, God, I'm fired. Dude. And the thing is, the last thing I want,
she goes nuts.
surely the reason that people do this is A, because it's just practical. It's the shortest possible amount of text to get that information sent. When you're busy, I mean, I send people like 1 or 2 word fucking messages all the time just because I'm in a hurry. And I do hope they don't think, God, what a fucking asshole. He didn't even tell me about how he was feeling. And
No.
that's... God, do you really want that as well? Oh, an emotive writing style in work emails.
I mean, my mom, she is not in charge of anyone at work, I think. But when she hasn't gone to work for 2 days, she needs an entire day to answer all the emails that she's gotten. Yeah. If she has to write like a full novel to every individual, that would not be very effective.
Imagine if she had to care about their fucking feelings by doing, in every goddamn email. But hang on, I'm just going to do a quick check. So does she use the word feminist at all in this article?
No. Comments?
No.
Title.
Yeah. Comments and title. Literally. So exclamation points are not in fact feminist as fuck. They're actually an insecure woman's desperate attempt to try and make herself feel less like she's under the pressure from her boss.
If you're so certain about your point, you'll just make it and it will stand on its merit. I never feel like I have to add a gazillion exclamation marks to an argument in order for it to.
I mean, doesn't that just kind of devalue what you've said? I mean, people when they see that think, oh God, this person's really pushing it because they don't have faith in what they're saying.
Yeah, that's what I said before. I don't even like people who use too many exclamation marks. It looks very childish and unprofessional.
Yeah.
In an actual professional email, I would never use that.
Right. Okay. So, I'm sorry that I've got all of these feminist ones lined up, but we do have other things that aren't feminist. But
no, I'm off today, so I have enough time for emotional recovery. It's all right.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sit through it, I'm afraid. So, a new and really important study shows how Star Trek jokes and geek culture make women feel unwelcome in good science.
For fuck's sake!
So I don't.
They make beautiful things awful.
Like, I don't want to make any geek jokes at you, Gryffix, because I don't want to make you feel unwelcome on my stream. And I know that this sort of thing can happen because...
To be honest, when you invited me, I believe you used an exclamation mark and I was forced into it. So
Did I? Patriarchy. Typical. I'm so sorry. I don't even realize I'm doing it.
yeah. Well, patriarchy. Are you now assuming my gender?
Good point.
Yeah.
God damn.
Excellent.
I think that's me fucking wrecked.
Help! I'm wrecked and I can't get up.
So, as a high school sophomore in the 90s, sorry, Han, before I start, has someone actually found the money to do a study on how Star Trek jokes make women feel unwelcome in computer science? I mean, how do you... I mean, I just can't imagine the proposition. Like, they must go to some finance office and say, look, we need to do a study. We've got it signed off by a bunch of people. Okay, well, what is it? So, well, we think that maybe that Star Trek jokes make women feel unwelcome in computer science, and we need money to do the research. Are you good for that? And I mean, why would they say yes? Why would they give them money?
Is it a legit study, or is it because any
Good
idiot
question.
can say that they made a study? Oh, there's a link to that. A recent psychological study. There's a hyperlink.
There is.
Because maybe the conclusion is just really off.
Okay.
Okay.
For some reason, really tiny. So, women obtain more than half the US undergraduate degrees in biology, chemistry, and mathematics, yet they earn less than 20% of computer science, engineering, and physics undergraduate degrees. Gender differences and interest in computer science, engineering, and physics appear even before college. Why are women represented in some science, technology, and engineering, while STEM fields more than others? We conduct a critical review of the most commonly cited factors in explaining gender disparities in STEM participation and investigate whether these factors explain differential gender and participation across STEM fields. Math performance and discrimination influence who enter STEM, but there is little evidence to date that these factors explain why women's underrepresentation is relatively worse in some STEM fields. We introduce a model with 3 overarching factors to explain the large gender gaps: participation in computer science, in STEM, masculine cultures. I love how nerds doing Star Trek jokes is masculine culture. That
you get beat up for that shit. If anything,
oh my god, that is not... dude. Just, I mean, they're not jocks, you know what I mean? They're not on the fucking football team. But anyway, it signals a lower sense of belonging to women than men. Okay, I suppose it would. A lack of sufficient early experience with computer science, engineering, and physics, and gender gaps in self-efficacy. Efforts to increase women's participation in science, engineering, and physics may benefit from changing masculine cultures and providing students with early experiences that signal equally to both boys and girls that they belong and can succeed in these fields. Oh my god. So
yeah, I don't even know if this study says what they think it says, but
no, I don't. I'm not going to take the time to go through it, obviously, because we're in the middle of a stream. But do you like being condescended to in this way?
No, to be honest, I when I started my course last year, I was one of the very few girls there, and obviously boys, girls, men, women are different, but it is ridiculous to assume that because of that you would feel unwelcome, or a friend of mine, she is a nurse. Most nurses in that hospital are female, and they're constantly talking about shit like Grey's Anatomy and whatnot. Would a male nurse then feel unwelcome and threatened and just quit his job over that?
Without a doubt, Gryffix. By this logic, that must be the case.
Well, I think they underestimate how geek culture is really not just a guy thing. I think I have at least... Yeah, I think most of my female friends are actually into Marvel and all that nonsense. So it's I don't really... But...
Well, I agree. I mean, I think female participation in geek culture has always been there, but it's grown significantly over the last 5 years. So
I mean, if you're entering a computer science, then obviously you're gonna get a lot of people who play computer games who are geeks. That's just linked to that field. And honestly, if you want something, go for it. If you're the type that cannot go through with a course because there are people there who like things that you don't, then you probably are not going to get very far in life anyway because you don't have a backbone.
Yeah, but
and it's ridiculous that you need to hold... Yeah, you're just holding
conversations that she's not part of, Gryffix. That's so unsympathetic of you.
Yeah, well, life's a bitch, and honestly, if people are nice to you, I don't even understand how you can get fed up. I have these friends, right? One of my friends is a brony. I have friends who read...
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I am too. Uh, they read manga and all that weird Japanese stuff
Yeah.
that more often looks like porn than like just normal. I don't even want to get into it.
No,
It's too
no
complex.
correlation. Carry
But,
on.
I don't understand how you can feel intimidated by that, and this idea that you need to help women through their courses, through their jobs, by protecting them, even from things like this, is just ridiculous. Because I
No,
bet my
I
hand
think
on
I
it.
think you actually made a really good point there, right? This is generally something that women have been disdainful of. You know, like they see like the nerds doing their computer science stuff and, you know, making Star Trek jokes. And it's not that they're intimidated, is that they generally think it is basically pathetic and they don't want to be part of it. Or at least that's been my experience of being a geek. And
Yeah,
being one
yeah,
of
I
these
know what
fat
you mean.
nerds making Star Trek jokes. You know, and then that's fine. You know, if people don't like it, that's entirely fine. But you can't then point the finger and go, you know what, you've been excluding and intimidating women. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, man.
No, I think it's an insult to 99% of people who are not bothered by the fact that they're
Yes.
surrounded by people who like different things. Because I really think that these are just some insecure, ridiculous individuals that don't represent most women. And I'd also say that the type of person who would not be able to finish a course because of this, but that person's not going to get anywhere anyway. You can send them to some other course, and they'll get a problem there as well, because they just look for problems.
In fact, this article, the way this is written at the beginning, really actually I think reinforces my point. She says, as a high school sophomore in the 1990s, I took a mandatory computer science class that had a reputation for being difficult. The word amongst the girls was that the only students who did well in the course were the quote Dungeons and Dragons boys.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, that is exactly what I'm talking about. You know, I was one of these guys. You know, I was a total nerd in school, and I still am.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
very
I've been
proud of
there as
this.
well. Yeah.
And these are the people who are characterized and looked down on, or at least were in the 90s. Now they're the evil oppressors that have been, you know, on top of society the whole time, keeping women down with their Star Trek jokes. But like, it's just like, look, you can't help but negatively characterize these people when you talk about them. So you can't sit there and go, oh, these people are keeping women out of science. No, women were seeing the people who are doing science and were like, no, I don't want to do that. You know, overall, I mean, there were always some women in the group, obviously. But anyway, a very nice teacher taught the class, and he often reinforced this male-oriented image of who would be successful with nerdy Star Trek jokes and other pop culture references, more likely to resonate with boys and girls. Unsurprisingly, I know, what a bastard. I hope he got fired.
Yeah, I actually I once did a class, a history class, and I used an Assassin's Creed game to get
Oh
my
no!
class interested. That was probably sexist as well. I should have been
Oh
fired
my
now.
god, that would be ahistorical. But the thing is, I actually remember doing this in science class, like having a like class discussion with my teacher about the feasibility of teleporters. And it's like, you know, I can't remember how it went or anything, but it's just like I can imagine the women in the class were just like, "Oh God, the patriarchy is oppressing me now." So unsurprisingly, boys dominated classroom interactions, answered questions confidently, and turned in their tests quickly. Many of those boys went on to become computer scientists and engineers, while girls largely turned to fields like social sciences, medicine, and business. What do you think of that?
Sorry, where does it say that? Oh, second paragraph.
Yeah, second paragraph here.
While girls watching tennis fields. Um,
Do you think that's because of the Star Trek jokes?
no. I think women. I'm not a biologist or a psychologist. Women probably are wired a bit differently neurologically, and they are probably a bit more nurturing, which will make them feel more attracted to fields like social sciences and medicine.
So you're a chauvinist then, an old school male chauvinist, but in a
Yeah,
woman's
man.
body. I see.
I am exposed.
Gryffix exposed. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to put on the title of this video.
You should do a compilation of it. No,
So yeah, go on. Sorry.
no, maybe there could be like a cultural thing amongst girls or something that because a lot of friends go into those fields, that they want to do it as well, and that maybe there is a stigma amongst girls not to go into science because it's boring or whatever. Maybe that could play a part in it, but I don't really think it's like a sexist thing. And honestly, like I said before, if a lot of women go into medicine, you probably have a more feminine culture there, and
Well,
I
obviously.
never heard anyone complain about men who feel unwelcome as a result of it. I mean, in if you take a history course, that is a lot of geek culture there as well. A lot of Harry Potter nerds and Lord of the Rings
Hmm.
nerds, and most people play Skyrim, and they're all geeks, and it's so non-hostile. It's if anything, it's almost a bit childlike,
Yeah.
childlike enthusiasm. I find
Hmm.
it more charming or disarming than intimidating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as an adult, that's what I'd expect from anyone approaching any of these sort of cultures. I used to work for the research councils, and we'd end up, having to go to various different research places around the country, and you'd end up having lunch and drinks with these scientists, and they are just the most mild mannered people. And what I love about them as well is that they've got what they think is like edgelord humor, and it's so timid, it's so inoffensive, it's so nice, and they think they're being quite edgy by saying some of this
It's
stuff.
adorable.
It is. It's really adorable. And I was just, I was sat there thinking, this is brilliant. These people are just so cute, and they're in this little bubble where everything's lovely. And so the idea that they would be trying to intimidate, or just even capable of intimidating people, is really bizarre to me. I mean, and what I really think they're putting the cart before the horse here as well. They're like, oh my god, this culture is keeping women out. It's like, no, I think women just generally weren't that interested, and therefore a sort of nerd culture developed in these subjects.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
And I say what I always notice with people who go into any sort of field of study, and they are failing their exams, they start blaming it on other things. Like the teacher didn't teach me well, or the book was too difficult, or the exam sucked. And maybe there are just people who are not making it there, and who are failing, and who now just try to make excuses for it. Like, oh, I was
yeah,
intimidated by my male counterparts.
they
It's
were making Star Trek jokes. Okay,
yeah,
one of them made a Lord of the Rings joke, and that was it. I was out.
yeah, man. You
But
like
yeah,
Lord of
so
the Rings?
not me.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, I didn't mind the Lord of the Rings films. I got bored reading the books. Not because I don't like reading books. I love reading books. Like the Dark Tower was like 7 novels that were about like just they were thick as fuck, and they were absolutely gripping from start to finish. But the
I
Lord of the
get what you
Rings,
mean.
about halfway through the second book, when they're going, someone bought me like the entire trilogy as one book, and I thought, okay, great. I'd never
Yeah,
read
I
it as a
have one of
kid,
those
so
too.
and I got about, I don't know, halfway through where they're trudging through the fucking swamps. And I was right, okay, this is really, really boring. I'm really sick of the description of the swamp. I know what a swamp's like. I've got it, Tolkien, let's go. So I skipped about 12 pages ahead, and it was still describing the fucking swamp. And I was just like, nope, I'm done. I've got better things to do. And then I watched the films, and they were okay. And then I watched the Hobbit films, and I hated them with every fiber of my being.
See,
And so, no, not really.
that is intimidating, actually.
Is it?
That opinion.
Do you think I won't get more women on my streams because of my dislike of Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
So did you like it? Did you?
Stigma. I do. I have to say, I tried reading The Lord of the Rings for the first time when I was 8, and that was not a good idea.
Yeah, it's probably better.
Um, so I put it aside, tried it a few more times because it's pretty old English, and even the Dutch translation is
Yeah,
very old Dutch, so it's really hard to get through. But then I read it when I was a bit older, like a year or two ago, and then I got through it. But you really have to get used to it, and
yeah.
you yeah.
No, you're right.
It's
You're right. It is quite heavy going. But then the thing is, I read it when I was like, I don't know, 20 or something, 21. So for me, it wasn't like that. It was just really dull. I just really was not very enthused by it. And oh my god, one day I might do like a nitpick video about all the things I hate about Lord of the Rings, because there are so many small things, like when they're attacking Gondor or whatever, and you see the orc, he fires from this crappy little short bow, and the arrow goes straight through this plate armor, and it's just like, physics doesn't matter then. Physics just doesn't fucking
or
matter.
like
I mean,
people who take pikes to a siege,
yeah,
stabbing the
God,
wall.
oh, almighty, yeah, just. And then the horses, Gandalf on the horses, they charge down a hill towards a pike formation. It's like, what the fuck is this? And then at the end, where they go to Mordor and they're standing there with their little army, and Aragorn just lets the enemy walk out and entirely surround them. And it's just like, okay, just
If anything, if you're annoyed by anything in the Lord of the Rings, it has to be Frodo in the films. Throughout those films, I got such a deep, deep hatred for Frodo. He's such a
why?
little bitch. There are entire compilations on the internet of Frodo just making noises like, ah! Like falling and like crying and dramatic zoom in on his face.
You'll have to send me this because that sounds brilliant.
Yeah, it is brilliant. And they keep track of the number, like times Frodo has cried, times Frodo has fallen. Such a wuss.
Fair, Samwise Gamgee was pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
he should have been
main
given the ring,
character.
then, let's be honest.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't even.
I like it when they are all the way into Mordor and Frodo just goes, "Go home, Sam." It's like, fuck you.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, dude, I've come all this way. You know, I'm fucking lost anyway. What am I going to do? Just turn around and follow the path home?
Frodo should have died, to be honest.
Oh, God, I would have just kicked him in with the ring, I think. I'm like, you know what, Mr. Frodo? Buff. But you know what? This sidetracked conversation is keeping women out of streaming.
It's true.
it's preventing other women from thinking I can do streaming too. So this study was conducted with the author's colleagues, published this month in the Psychological Bulletin, has a clear message about our best hope for diversifying computer science. Now, this whole attitude baffles me. It's the idea that you need to diversify computer science. You're looking at computer science going, well, there aren't really very many vaginas in that room, are there? You know, that we definitely need more women who, or just women in general. I mean, who fucking cares? Who cares how many women there are doing anything at all, or men, or, you know.
Yeah, I think obviously everyone should have the equal opportunity, but the equal outcome, that is just bullshit. I mean, you should have the best people in the best places, and if that happens to be 99% male, then sure. If it's 99% women, I don't care either. It's get the best people in those places.
Which is why most nurses are women, because I imagine they're better at being nurses than men would be. I mean, I know there would be a better nurse than I would be. I'm a fucking thoughtless twat. You know, the last thing
that would have a high amusement value, at least.
Well, yeah, but not for the patients. You know?
Yeah, imagine giving birth.
I've got the worst bedside
Sargon
manner
is your nurse.
Yeah, just like, oh, I'm really struggling. Well, you know, chin up. What do you want me to do about it?
So how is that my problem?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I would be terrible. But yeah, it's the sort of top-down mentality, though, isn't it? It's like, you know what? We see you've created something here. It's all come together kind of holistically and organically, and you know, it's built out of the need to have something in this direction, without any necessarily sort of top-down planning. And this is what's come out of it. And I'm looking at this, and I don't really like it. You know, you need to be diversified. So what you need to do is let us meddle. You know, let us meddle with what you're doing. Let us fuck around and, oh, look at this. It's this masculine culture you've got here that's causing all the problems. I mean, who the fuck do they think they are to be able to say that this is what needs to change? You know? It's like,
yeah,
fuck off, dude. You know?
Yeah, I've seen very little cases in which, like, a healthy mix of gender actually mattered. Like, I once heard a bunch of people talk about this in high schools, that you should have at least a decent amount of women and a decent amount of men. It shouldn't be too much of a difference. And I could at least understand their logic in the sense that they said that it's important for children to have good male role models and good female role models. So I can at least understand the logic in that, but this is just completely off.
Yeah. It really is. I just... piss me off. But yeah, I love that we found the difference comes down to culture. Computer science, engineering, and physics have more masculine cultures than biology. Yeah, they're just fucking flicking wet towels on each other's asses in the shower rooms, aren't they? You know, they're just like, yeah, we're gonna bang those chicks at the weekend, brah. You know, fuck off. Oh God, I hate these people so much. I mean, dude, it's just like they don't understand what they're talking about, you know? At no point in any of these cultures are women actually excluded. It's just that she has deliberately omitted Star Trek from being something women can care about.
Yeah, she actually makes an assumption there about what women are supposed to like. But yeah. I know a lot of guys in fields that are usually male dominated, and when a woman walks in, she is usually treated very well. Because they really like that. They really like it when a girl is also into computers or also into this or also
the woman, in fact, becomes the center of the room, doesn't she? Oh, they
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
They do.
You should see. We have game. Yeah, we have stores over here. Game Mania. It's something like GameStop in England, I think.
Mhm.
Just walk in there. You should. Now, I'm not even some kind of supermodel, but it's just funny to see how that
Confirmed.
works. No,
But
it's so
because
harmless.
yeah,
It's
but it's
so
because they're
harmless.
socially awkward guys. They don't, they're not the sort of guys who have a lot of success with women. I'm not trying to talk them down or anything. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, they're just amongst the most harmless people that you can
Yeah.
imagine. It's really not the type of person you need to be worried about. Geeks.
The geeks are taking over
It's
and
just
they're
sad how you
oppressing
can go
women.
after geeks, you know. First it's, oh, they're shooting up high schools because they're playing computer games, then they get beaten up because playing computer games is not cool, and now they're oppressing women.
Hang on a second. I've got.
What?
Sorry, I'm just getting a picture up. This is perfect. Here we go. This is the face of women's oppression.
Zoom in on the face.
It's a no bitches please. Look, I think
Yeah.
you're.
Just look those eyes. That is the face of a sexual predator.
I just can't go over this. Like, yeah, look at these guys. Oh, there's a woman there. My God, how oppressed must
We
they
can
be?
Photoshop that out. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll cut it out. So it's just. But seriously, I mean, what the fuck are they talking about? Look at how are these people oppressing women in any way, shape, or form?
I also noticed how there are lots of women on those photos too.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's shut up because that's ruining the narrative, Gryffix. Come on, get with the program.
Sorry.
But yeah, so apparently, yeah. So when these courses are optional, it's typical for computer science students to rely on their stereotypes about the fields to decide whether to enroll. As one undergraduate research participant in our lab put it, the current stereotypes of computer scientists is that they are the nerdy guys who stay up late coding and drinking energy drinks and have no social life. Well, I mean, that's true. This geeky image is at odds with the way that many girls see themselves. Work from our lab shows that when high school girls see Star Trek posters and video games in computer science classroom, they are less interested than boys in taking the course.
No fucking way. Work from our lab. How did you test that? Just imagine them in a lab with like a Star Trek poster, and then a woman walks in and has on like a
I'd like
leash,
to
and
know
then
the
she tries
formula
to
they
get
use to
away.
calculate this.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what percentage.
Like wearing protective glasses. What
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
experiment is that?
Yeah, no, mate, dude. Honestly, it's tragic. But yeah,
It also assumes that women are just these spineless creatures that walk into a classroom and then they get like a Vietnam flashback when they see Star Trek posters and they walk out.
No, dude. The next line's being better, right? When the classroom is devoid of decor, the girls still opt out. So even when there aren't those
That
posters
defeats
there,
the
they're
point.
still not interested.
So they just opt out. That's the bottom line.
They're just opting out of computer science because for some reason women aren't interested in computer science.
I'm just really bad at it, to be honest.
That's
Well,
honestly, that's probably the reason most people in general opt out of computer science. Not just women. There are most men also opt out of computer science. You know,
that, and we had a really creepy teacher. That too.
Well, that doesn't help, yeah. But
No, I was once in class, and this actually happened, and he accidentally started porn on the projector.
Fucking hell!
Yeah, it actually
How
took
does
him
that
about.
happen?
He had it in his favorites tab.
Oh, really?
Yes. So he watched that stuff, and it was like, oh, accidentally typed
Oops.
something wrong.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, I saw it in your history. You filthy fuck. And he had one of those things where what he shows on his screen comes on everyone's screen.
Yeah.
And that was the first time
Why
I
was
saw
he
lesbian
doing this at
porn.
school? God damn. But
Yeah.
Anyway, when the classroom is devoid of decor, girls still opt out. It's only when an alternative image of computer science is presented by replacing geeky objects with art and nature posters that girls become as interested in boys. So basically what she's saying here, it's only when the girls are propagandized. I mean, what has computer science got to do with art and nature? The answer is not fucking much.
No.
You know? So
No,
putting these posters in the classrooms is a way of literally deceiving them into what they'll be doing.
And probably everyone has like a type of environment that they feel comfortable in. Like boys have that, girls have that. You can set up a room in such a way that a person walks in and feels comfortable. But if the course just isn't for them, then they will leave eventually. It's just making the cover of the book better. If you don't like reading, you won't read anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly. You can make the cover of the book look like whatever you want, but if you don't care about the
Yeah.
subject,
Like I give a book to Sagan about political theory and he opens it and it's The Lord of the Rings.
yeah, I'll be pissed, man. And ironically, The Lord of the Rings is basically based on a lot of political theory as well. But
Do you know how he came up with The Lord of the Rings?
wasn't it like World War II?
World War One. He
World
was
War
in
One,
the
sorry, yeah.
trenches,
Yeah.
and he sort of made up the story to escape reality.
Which I
And
don't blame him at all. Christ.
yeah, I can't imagine what it must have been like to be in the trenches.
Well, I've seen pictures, and I think that's enough for me.
Yeah, I actually heard that most people in trenches died because of explosions, but not because they were blown up, but because an explosion caused a wave of mud and they would just drown.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it was
What a
horrendous.
fucking... Yeah, I read... Oh, no, I didn't read it. I listened to Dan Cullen's podcast on World War One. And I don't know whether you've listened to him or not, but Dan Cullen, he's this political commentator who also does a history podcast. And he's got this amazing way of helping you empathize and putting you in the shoes of the people doing it. And he was saying how that there were these guys in the no man's land trenches where, it was just huge craters of mud. And they would be horribly wounded, and they would end up like biting their hands and basically eating their own fists to try and stop themselves from crying out in pain, so their colleagues didn't come out of the trench and try to get them and get shot in the process. And it's just like, right, okay, if that's right, I'm basically going to gnaw my own hand off to stop myself from screaming so someone else doesn't die. I can't think of anything more hellish than that.
No, I've been in Flanders, in Ypres, and all those for school. I had to go there, and there were like mass graves, just people they couldn't identify. And there was one mass grave that just had 20,000 German soldiers in it. Had no idea who they were. Just 20,000 people. Jeez. And like if you go to like the British graves are usually very neat and tidy because to the Belgians, those were like the good guys.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, understandably.
Well,
but
we weren't invading them, yeah.
Yeah. But then you see the German grave sites, and every grave has at least like 10 people in it, usually 20.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty serious stuff. But yeah, let's go back to the also really serious stuff of
man.
Their research, because this is really important. Okay, the research is clear on what works to encourage girls to choose computer science, change the masculine culture. Changing the stereotypes by diversifying computer science environments is one way to reduce gender gaps. It's like, okay, it is, but it also means you have to have an authoritarian approach to everything you do, and you can't just let people be the people that they are. And
yeah,
I hate that. I really hate that. Our research has found that college women who have a 2-minute interaction with a computer science major, played by student actors, so not even a real one, with a t-shirt that says, "I code, therefore I am," and identify Mystery Science Theater 3000 as their favorite show, express less interest in majoring in computer science than college women who interact with the same students wearing regular t-shirts and watching The Office instead. It's like, duh, fucking... I just can't believe this is something that, like, it's like watching robots trying to understand people.
Yeah. I actually like the different little subcultures that you have with certain courses.
Yeah,
because people tend to you tend to enroll in courses where that culture would also suit you, and it makes for just good friendships and good interactions and a fun atmosphere that people feel comfortable in. And you shouldn't artificially make it so dead that anyone can project whatever on it so they can feel comfortable.
Yeah.
That you're just beating dead a culture for no reason.
I mean, literally, that's what they're saying. Computer science teachers who showcase the ways in which their personalities and interests are broader than the narrow stereotypes may have an easier time convincing girls to follow in their footsteps. Okay, but you're saying don't be you.
Yeah.
If you love Mystery Science Theater 3000 and you adore coding, you're not allowed to express that because otherwise girls might not like it, dude. You've got to watch The Office instead.
Gotta get them girls.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get the bitches, dude. I mean,
booty.
otherwise, you're not going to be diversified, and that makes you a misogynist who's oppressing women. So, cultural change isn't always easy, but it's always possible. The University of Washington's computer science department has been working hard for the past decade to create a more inclusive culture for women, The department added art and nature posters throughout their building to make it more gay. I mean, inviting. Women were appointed as teaching assistants in many courses. I hope these are women who knew what they were talking about, because when I was in university and in college, the last thing you wanted was a teacher who didn't know how to fucking code. But women were appointed as teachers' courses. Professors sent personalized emails, presumably with lots of exclamation marks, recognizing women who received high grades in each introductory courses. Just fucking special snowflakes, man. Oh, well done, Mary. You're so amazing. Yeah, well done, John. Yeah, good. Get out.
Honestly, it's fucking ridiculous.
It's just so pathetic, isn't it? And oh god, I hate it.
Oh, this is good. It's time we take the pressure off women to change themselves to fit in with them. So you walk into a room where 30 people like something, and if you didn't have to adapt to them, you are the one that is the victim here.
Yeah.
But you, on the other hand, can ask every other person in the room to change a fundamental part about their character, so you feel more welcome.
Yeah.
Even though
otherwise they're oppressing you.
Wow.
Amazing.
I wish I knew this when I started college.
Yeah, if only. I mean, you could have been taking this entitlement entitlement complex right to the top. You know, you could be like, look, CEO culture is a lot like my computer science culture. I feel ostracized because I'm a woman. I'm not really into like, you know, all the things you're into. So change it. Just fucking change everything.
Actually, I don't like computer science. Change the course.
Yeah, exactly. I think we should focus less on the computers and more on, I don't know, hair and makeup. I don't fucking know what women do. Right. So do you remember when cracked.com was funny?
No, there's a long distant past.
Yeah. A long time ago, right?
Archaeologists are looking for it.
I think I think they have actually given up on telling jokes. I mean, I literally think they've actually given up on being a comedy site. It's really weird because I've not seen anything from Crack that is funny in a long time. And so, like, they've done this list, 7 reasons so many guys don't understand sexual consent. It's like,
oh boy.
Oh, that's hilarious, isn't it? Let's just, oh, look at these guys accidentally raping people.
It happens to me all the time.
Yeah, well, of course. It happens to me all the time because, you know, I've got no reason, actually. It just happens all the time. Right, so...
That reminds me of a stupid story. My mom works in a hospital, and there was this woman who walked in one day, and she had a banana up her, you know where? And she said it was an accident. She said that she was wearing a skirt but no underwear, and she fell on a fruit bowl.
I'm not convinced.
No, that's what she. Yeah, would you think?
Yeah, I'm not convinced.
Have you never fell with your ass on a fruit bowl before?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't have any fruit bowls around.
All these sexual accidents, man.
Yeah, but right. So number 7 is forcing yourself on women makes them love you. Now, I don't really. I mean, I guess this really comes back to the sort of Star Wars and Star Trek jokes we were talking about, because this is what they're talking about. Remember how everyone said it was great they cast a female star in The Force Awakens because it's good for little girls to have role models? So we can all agree that pop culture heroes do influence people, right? Oh, God, they're going Young Turks on us. Right. That's why diversity in casting is so important. All that. Yeah, make sure it's fucking diverse, mate. Christ. All right. Right. So here's a lesson I got on sexual consent. I was 6 years old. My hero and lifelong role model, Han Solo, approaches a woman who has told him at every opportunity she's not interested. Han comes up from behind and presses his body against hers. She's a strong woman, a fighter, so she physically shoves him off with a little gif there. Undeterred, Han moves back and grabs her hands and starts rubbing them. She says, "Stop that," and looks nervous. When he doesn't stop, she clearly says it again. He still doesn't stop. Romantic music plays, and he brutally rapes her. Oh, no, that's not what happened. Sorry. The exchange follows. Han, what are you afraid of? Leia, afraid? Han, you're trembling. Leia, I'm not trembling. Han, you like me because I'm a scoundrel. There aren't enough scoundrels in your life. Leia, I happen to like nice men. Han, I'm a nice man. Leia, no, you're not. And then he kisses her, like the brute he is. I'm sure you've seen Star Wars, even though you're a girl. Have you?
Yeah, a long time ago, but yeah, I have.
Did you feel that Leia was being raped in this scene?
No. I've never even looked at it that way.
Why not?
Because, well, it's just that that stereotypical love story of two people who don't really go well together, but they still like each other, and they're in a state of denial, and then suddenly he kisses her, and it all falls in place. It's such a cookie cutter concept,
Yeah.
and I don't understand how you could look so far into this.
No, but it's actually rape.
Good to know.
Yeah, so this is David Wong, who's apparently 40 years old, and he's been conducting a 40-year experiment on men's toxic attitudes towards women, mainly by living my life and lots of them swishing around inside of my skull. That's hilarious, David. You're so funny.
That's why he's on Cracker.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
Cracker. No, we may as well.
Cracker.
They should change the name to Cracker. And oh my god, this whole thing is just pissing me off already. I can't even be bothered to fucking read it, right? Yeah, it just fucking hell.
So okay, asking permission is a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
And do they mean asking permission to kiss someone or to have sex, or to just every step of the way?
I'm not sure. We'll find out. If you're wondering, no, I've never groped a woman in my life who didn't grope me first.
Huh?
But
no, I just visualize this really weird interaction where someone grabs his crotch and he just grabs back.
just his hands
so,
shoot back.
There.
Yeah, it's right.
Got you.
But the thing about this though is like I love the way, again, it's like robots struggling to understand human interaction. You know, it's like, look, they didn't do anything. I mean, they stood a bit closer to each other, and then, you know, a few words were exchanged, but nothing major, and then he starts kissing her, and suddenly they're having sex, and she never even consented. You know, it like a robot analyzing the situation. Just, I just don't understand what's happened here. You know, all these men just are raping all of these women. There's no consent involved. And it's like, look, there are non-verbal ways to consent, you know? I mean, yeah. the fact that if you're in like an intimate setting with someone, you know, and you're close to them and all this sort of stuff, you don't, it's implied for fuck's sake.
You can instinctively feel sometimes what a person wants, and then they can feel that you want it too. That's how it usually works. I don't know. Not that I'm just well experienced in this stuff, but I don't know if there are a lot of people who would like literally ask, "Can I do this? Can I?" So,
well, I mean, you probably kiss women without consent all the time, but like,
yeah, I kiss everyone without consent.
Yeah. So, again, I'm not going to bother reading through his waffle because obviously it's just summed up in the fucking title. But I mean,
you never know what happened. Maybe Han used an exclamation mark or something, and Leia was convinced.
How unsexy would asking permission be, though? Just on a scale of 1 to 10.
It's a -3.
It'd be like keeping your socks on, wouldn't it? Keeping a t-shirt on or something. You know, you'd be like, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's no.
I like this. Women like to be pursued and thus always play hard to get. So okay. Yeah, there's never been a time where a woman's played hard to get, dude. Just
yeah, but if everyone just walked up to someone, hey, do you like me? No, okay, then just mankind would go extinct. What is wrong with trying to get someone to like you? You know. I don't see the problem with it.
But conversely, I love the other extreme of what he's suggesting. It's like there are actually guys who they're pinning down these screaming women. You know, they're just
like me,
and someone walks past and goes, "She's just playing hard to get."
Yeah,
just like, dude, like there's such a huge range of things before you get to the point of this is actually brutal rape. You know, like, just fucking. So everything women do is intended to stoke male hunger. Okay, I might actually have to read this one. There was no internet in the 90s. Oh my god! Look how far back are you going? Let's get to the point, twat. I love the way he's got these sort of pictures. Yeah, as if Pamela Anderson on Baywatch isn't actually intended to stoke male hunger, as he puts it. You know, obviously Pamela Anderson she was meant to be sexy on Baywatch. I mean, the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Thing.
That's not meant to be sexy. You know, it's not meant to be sexy. Oh, look at this fucking dude, girl on. Doing a bra or whatever on TV. Yeah, that's not meant to be sexy.
In the rain.
Yeah, in the rain. Yeah, no, it's not. No implication there, dude. Fucking, you're right. But what? Is he talking about like Swimsuits Illustrated or something? Aren't they both
Playboy? If you're using Playboy, of course. That's the entire purpose of that fucking magazine.
Oh my god.
That's not a new thing.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's
Sorry, go on.
It's crazy. And have you not noticed on like the cover of women's magazines how they have women who are generally more slender than on the cover of men's magazines? The women on men's magazines are a lot more curvy and busty.
Yeah, they need to feel comfortable with the woman on the cover, but she shouldn't threaten her.
Yeah, exactly.
So it has to be. It's all manipulation. Everything on that cover is thought through.
Yeah.
The fonts they use. I've heard that if you want to sell food, that you need to use a lot of red colors because apparently that stimulates the feeling of hunger. So with food advertisement, you often see a lot of red. They think through everything. It's.
Okay, this one actually, to be fair, is something that people fuck off, crack. I'm not subscribing to your shit. Is sexual assault is a guy in an alley with a knife, and then he gives the example of James Bond kind of forcing himself on this one, and that's actually fair enough. I mean, it does seem fairly non-consensual. She is actually trying to fight him off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it actually does look fairly non-consensual, but I mean, this was recorded in like the 60s or something. So, I think time has moved on a little bit since then. Number two, all sex outside of heterosexual marriage is wrong? What? How is this training someone to think? What? Jesus Christ!
I don't even think that this is something like a narrative that is really popular.
How is this anything to do about consent anyway? Oh God, he's quoting Rush Limbaugh, right? Okay, scary.
Yeah, Rush Limbaugh is really representative of everyone on this planet.
Yeah, it's just anyone at all.
Rush for president.
But yeah, number one, boys will be boys. See, this is
Trump.
Yeah, with Donald Trump. For people who don't know, right, the phrase "boys will be boys" is used by judges in court after men rape people, and it's used immediately before dismissing the case. In every case, no men ever go to jail over rape. Judges just go, "Well, boys will be boys," and the case is dismissed. Amazingly, they still go to trial though. But this phrase pisses me off more than anything else when feminists use it. They go, "Oh, well, they say boys will be boys, but that doesn't excuse rape."
They say that when you find porn in your 13-year-old son's bedroom, boys will be boys.
Or when a couple of like the neighborhood kids have had a fight and one of them comes home with a bloody nose.
Yeah, exactly. I've never heard anyone. You should just read like articles about rape. And then see the comment section, like when a guy gets like 10 years in jail, and the comment section is all like, they should have stoned him, they should have hung him, they should have cut his dick off. I've never seen people excuse rape. It's one of the most hated things on this planet.
I might go to Return of Kings. I bet the comment section in there is all just, well, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
But seriously, this oh my God. I love this as well, right? Explaining someone's actions is obviously not the same as excusing them. Okay, we can agree there. Saying that the behavior is shockingly common doesn't excuse it either. Yes, okay, that's true as well. The point of this isn't to defend subject of most recent scandal here, but to prevent people from insisting that guys like him are rare, incomprehensible monsters. They're not. Oh no, most guys are rare, incomprehensible monsters. Lots of guys grope, right? Okay, fine. Groping, presumably unsolicited, is bad, obviously, right? Lots of guys who don't will masturbate to rape porn. All right, what's wrong with that? Exactly.
It's just porn. It's not real.
It's exactly. It's not real.
A lot of people, I think, have those fantasies of domination or being dominated. So maybe that's why they watch that. I don't think they find actual porn or actual rape.
I guess you learned this from your teacher, right?
That guy.
But I love the way that I didn't actually mean for all of this to be sexual at all. I didn't think any of this was going to be sexual. I didn't read these through before I fucking got the title. I was like, right, this is going to be funny, just so people know. Yes, I'm so sorry, Layman.
No.
Lots of guys who don't do that still happily masturbated to the stolen fappening pics, as if that is some misogynist thing to do. That's what I love about this. It's just like all of this is like evil and misogynistic, and it's just
this is so fucking hypocritical. After the fappening, right? There have been instances in which men's pictures were leaked, like that twin. What's it called again? They played in the Zack and Cody show on.
Well, hell, the best one was Hulk Hogan's sex tape, dude. And Gorka and Jezebel were literally like, yeah, no, we're not keeping it down. And then the Jennifer Lawrence pics came out and they're like, oh my God, everyone's looking at Jennifer Lawrence naked. How awful is this? It's like, dude, there is a naked woman in Hulk Hogan's tape.
Justin Bieber too. Justin Bieber pictures, like they take pictures of him inside his house. These are not even pictures he leaked, but he was standing on his own balcony or something. They take pictures and they post it. And then with a huge caption of "uh-oh," just clickbait, everyone watches it.
Yeah, but it's I hate it so much. But anyway, I love the way that this he's like, oh my God, they masturbate to the stolen fappening pics. Oh my God, teenage boys masturbated to pictures of Jennifer Lawrence naked. How awful, how unexpected.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
This country heading.
Yeah, but again, I love at this point, Cracked.com is pearl clutching. They're like, oh my God, teenage boys masturbating to stolen pics on the internet. Dude, why do you fucking care about this? You sound like a conservative from about the 1980s. This is the sort of thing they used to get hung up on, you twats.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't even understand the whole fappening thing. I mean, who has their own nudes on a cloud on the internet? How big must your ego be?
Honestly, I think it was bullshit. I mean, what's the best thing that can happen for Jennifer Lawrence's career? Naked pictures of her are circulated around the internet. That's fucking what, man? And then all the news sites will report on this, and it's not like she looks bad naked or anything. So all it's going to be is...
You wouldn't want that to leak out. I'd understand that.
Yeah, but the best thing that could happen to you, I mean, it gets everyone talking about you. I mean, you're going to have fucking calls from all kinds of fucking movie producers, and your salary is probably going to go up because your fame has gone up, Honestly, I would not be fucking surprised if it turned out that she had leaked them herself. I'd fuck it. Look out for my nude leaks, guys. You're gonna love them.
Yeah, Sargon should actually leak himself. Like that butt photo.
Dude.
He actually did that himself for the views.
Oh yeah, it was actually me in that photo. So lots of guys who didn't do that. I love this as well. Lots of guys didn't do that, as if, we've established that these are all bad things that guys do. They still see James Bond movies as wish fulfillment. Lots of guys who still don't see any problem with that Han Solo scene until I pointed it out. Oh, God, listen to the thought police on crack.com, man. Fucking... it's wrong thinkers. That's the problem.
If this was such an obvious problem, then you wouldn't have to use arguments like a fucking 1960s film. You'd have better examples than that.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Oh no, the fucking Disney movie. I even.
Oh yeah, look, the thing at the bottom.
Ratatouille, what's it called?
I haven't actually seen it. I don't think.
I have. It's fun, but yeah, lots of rape, man.
Yeah, well, it
looks
like it. I mean, Jesus Christ, look what's going on.
That's why I watched it.
So that was basically his whole thing, and it's just like, dude, stop being a pussy. Women. What I love about all of this was as if women aren't capable of saying, you know what, I actually don't want this. If they're just like, oh, I just can't. If some guy tries to kiss me, I have no option but to kiss this guy. As if a woman can't take any action herself to say, no, nice try. Okay, you like me, I understand, but no. I mean, is that? And fuck's sake, this whole thing does my nut. I was going to go through the men feminists left behind, but honestly, we've been going through a lot of feminist stuff, and it's quite a long article, and we've been doing this for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it's stupid. It's stupid and arrogant. I've only read about half of it before I saved it. But basically, if we get to the end, we see. So. This is how it ends. This is how you know they're not man haters, all right, everyone? Men don't need more masculine posturing or promises to restore them to forever gone greatness. What they need is to make their own move towards gender equality, to break down the stereotypes and fetters of masculinity. Feminists, understandably, have focused on women. We have enough to do without being tasked with improving the lot of often misogynistic men as well. So she's saying, literally, educate your fucking selves.
Get along with the program.
You are the problem, and we expect you to change for our benefit. Okay, so just exactly. Get on with the program. If the white men who feel ignored now is white, geez, why is race got to come into this? If they feel ignored, disrespected, and lost, want to see their lives improve, they should take a cue from the great feminist strides women have made and start to embrace that progress. So basically, your life is going to suck unless you become a feminist. I mean, how
There's also
empathetic is
this
that?
idea that they haven't embraced this equality norm or something. That there's just this great, fight back against
Yeah,
women being equal legally.
yeah.
I've never
It's
seen
just
that.
the only. I mean, the next fucking sentence is actually gold. Like I said, I haven't read this. I just skipped to the end on a lot of them just to find out how bad it gets, and this one got bad. Life really is better with more fluid gender roles that allow individuals to do what they're good at and instead of what's socially prescribed. It's like, dude, if there are people pushing back against this, like, you can't just sit there and go, you know what, you're actually just wrong. You're just wrong. This personal preference, you're just wrong on it. It's like,
It's so contrary to what they're doing.
yeah. But every feminist I know will tell you that men bring much more to the table than physical strength or a paycheck, and that we would love a world in which men were free to be resilient and tender, ambitious and nurturing, expressive and emotional.
Yeah,
And
when they're emotional about the wrong things like Star Trek,
yeah,
then
and when they're ambitious about the wrong things like computer science,
you're like interrupting women on meetings.
yeah, exactly. And when they start being tender, you go, well, that's male tears.
Yeah, and you could have asked permission before grabbing my hand.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. I don't like you just because I'm, how could you have got this mistake? No, this is the thing. You can't fucking.
and
But anyway,
expressive. That's just, men using exclamation marks, I assume.
yeah. Right. Anyway, what I was going to do is this one with you
Dun
because,
dun.
yeah, dun dun dun. Right. So I actually had asked Gryffix to kind of vet this article for me. Not necessarily because it was on Breitbart, because I couldn't really find it reported anywhere else. But she did, and so this is why we're going to talk about it. So, this is happening in the Netherlands. A migrant party is calling for 1,000-strong racism police and dissenters to be put on a register. Now, before we go on, it's important to note that the party that's doing this is a fringe party, isn't it? And they're never going to get one.
Yeah, basically, what happened is in the Netherlands you have this sort of labor party, like every country seems to have, and the two leaders of this party, Tunahan Kuzu and Selçuk Ustak, they're two Turkish men, and they were in a fight with their party leaders, and they decided to split off and start their own party, which they named Dank. Not as in dank meme, but dank is actually Dutch for think.
God, that's a missed opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I would have voted for them if they.
Yeah.
No,
If
but
I do start a
basic
political party, I will call it Dank.
dank, yeah. But basically, there is a loophole in Dutch law because this has never really happened. Well, it has happened before. The PVV of Geert Wilders, he was actually part of another party, and he split off and then started his own. And because that's not really covered by Dutch law, whenever that happens, you're allowed to stay in Parliament. You don't get kicked out. So these people haven't been subjected yet to any sort of democratic election. So it's very hard to map how popular they are.
But
Also
probably
because most of their votes would come from migrants that are disengaged from the democratic process. And a lot of those would not answer such polls, So we won't know until March, I think, 2017. But yeah, they are Turkish, which I don't have a problem with, but they are very apologetic towards Erdogan. I think the guy in the middle who's standing with the mic, I believe he organized a protest in Rotterdam after the failed military coup. He refuses to call the Armenian genocide a genocide. And
really?
Yes.
He'll be on the Young Turks next week.
Yeah, man. But he actually, the parliament was going to vote on that, whether or not they should recognize the Armenian genocide as a genocide. And they actually took the nice wallpaper. They actually took the like the faces of the people who voted in favor of it, and they made a compilation of it. So all these Turkish politicians that wanted to acknowledge the Armenian genocide, they showed them in a video with names.
Oh, is this shaming? A public shaming of the ones who want to acknowledge a genocide happened?
Yep, they did that.
Public shaming for reality. That's terrible. How awful. Yes, we're gone.
No, and now they are trying to, they're really, because their main voter base seems to be migrants. they are really going for the racism angle in their campaign, and they want to basically set up a racism police to combat racism on social media and in everyday situations. And yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah.
Yeah. So they've basically got this proposal that's here that I got you to have a read of, and Gryffix confirmed this is what the proposal says, right?
Yeah, they want. I don't know if it was 1,000 agent, but I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, 1,000 agent racism police. As Think believes too few people are currently being prosecuted for racism and discrimination.
yeah, what happens is, well, discrimination is illegal. And they say that if you file a report, that usually it ends on a huge stack and no one takes it seriously. Now, that depends, of course, on the severity of the case. If I'm actually discriminated, if someone says, no, you can't have this job, you're a woman, and I, file a complaint, I take them to court. Obviously, that would something would happen with that. But if I assume that something like, imagine me going through a red traffic light, and then they stop me, and I say, oh, sexism, or oh, racism, if I'm black. Obviously, no one's going to do anything with that. So that's why a lot of those cases aren't taken seriously. Because there's just a lot of very emotional garbage in between. Oh my fucking god!
I was listening, but I needed to sign into Twitter to get something that someone sent me earlier, and I forgot. And this was the first thing that came up. And I was wondering if you were paying attention to the screen.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
But yeah, right.
They're really focused on emotions. They're demagogues. I'd call them demagogues. So what they do a lot when they talk about this is, you probably have experienced racism, and do you also feel like no one takes it seriously? Well, we are going to make them take it seriously. So it's a lot of big talk.
See, now, isn't this just a perfect example of the dangers of using this kind of, just the sort of the danger of identity politics, It's as soon as you have a word like racism that does have a lot of power in Western societies, and it really does, doesn't it?
It does. Although they are working very hard to make that word sound less serious, because this party is actually more controversial than Geert Wilders' party.
Wow.
They actually are hated more than Geert Wilders' party, who is now currently the biggest party in the polls. Yeah, shit's
I wonder
going
if they're
down.
contributing to that at all.
Yeah,
there aren't enough racist arrests. You know what? All of you Dutch people, yes, us Turkish people have decided you're actually all racist and need to go to jail. I mean, that kind of message would put me off. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I did a video on these people, and I had to look into them, and they wanted to get rid of words like migrant, or like they wanted to forbid that because it's not inclusive.
I love it. They're language policing as well. I can't imagine going to someone else's society and attempting to language police them and shame them and get them arrested. Just what asshole would I be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit worried about it in the sense that even though this is a very small party and they won't get anywhere,
of course,
there is this. We talked about this with Lehman last week. I think you see that there is a lot of. Even if you have a very small group of migrants, they tend to vote the same. They as one force, which is really weird. If you ask 10 Dutch people who are you voting for, you hear 10 different things.
Yeah.
And with migrants, they're now all, a lot of them are voting for this group, which I find strange and a bit of alarming. I don't think they'll get far, but I do think they represent a phase we've landed in that is really worrisome. But even the mainstream politicians have said that they are left-wing demagogues. They've said that they only seek to divide and that they're trying to spread hate. So it's not even controversial to accuse them of that. So at least they get the criticism that they deserve. But
okay. But basically the idea of creating a racism police is literally no different than the police of vice and virtue. It's just a different ideology.
True.
The thing you're policing is people's thoughts and why and how what they're doing is either right think or wrong think, and taking the legal action afterwards. Any fucking crazy bastard that suggests something like a racist police should be publicly shamed as hard as possible. Frankly, in my opinion, I can't really think of any other way to deal with them other than, Well, no, that would be going too far. I'm just gonna we'll just stick with the public shaming.
Yeah, I mean that actually. There's a satirical news show in the Netherlands, and they have an entire segment for Denk, just to mock them.
Good.
And there was actually a politician who was invited. Well, no, he appeared in front of the camera and he said that they should stop doing that because it's giving them attention, and they're so small. Maybe if we would stop talking about them, they'd go away. But I don't think that's the right course of action.
Works, though, is it?
What?
That's not how it works. You know,
No,
you've got to inoculate people against them in advance, which is what the feminists have been trying to do with the MRAs. It's just the feminists don't seem to realize that they are the unpleasant ones.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So for the last one, I thought honestly, I think this is. I've never seen. I won't even try and describe it. I'm just going to let you see it. Just prepare yourself. Steve Shives wrote a moment on Twitter. Why do I block so many people anyway? And then literally he says, build a block button big enough and I'll block the whole world.
So just imagine Steve like tweeting at himself and then replying to himself because everyone else is blocked.
Now, a few months ago, there was a hilarious thing going around on Twitter where some of the really big YouTubers one of them had tweeted out something like, nobody knows who this man Steve Shives is, but he's blocked everyone. And literally the picture of Steve having blocked the guy. And then PewDiePie replies going, holy shit, it's real. And literally it's just thousands of people on this chain going down, going, oh shit, I'm blocked by this guy as well. I don't know who he is. You know, it's just like kids, you know. Just like
PewDiePie, really?
I swear to God, right? I'll try and find it in a minute.
But I've seen that. I didn't know that even people like PewDiePie were involved.
This literally, like, it was just hilarious because, you know, no one knows who this man is because they don't. But he's got everyone blocked. It's just like, it's just literally thousands of people going, I don't know what's going on, but I'm blocked. So yeah. So this is just the apex of Steve Shives, I think, where I just can't get over this. Like his sort of fractal blocking has, I mean, it must have blocked probably about three quarters or something like 4/5 of Twitter. I mean, how much of Twitter can possibly remain unblocked for Steve Shives?
I have no idea. I don't even know how what is he seeing then when he opens Twitter?
I don't know.
Not much, I imagine.
Probably
just an empty timeline.
I
don't even know what
I can't really because he's got me blocked. So I'll sign it out. Let's have a look.
Is this Blogbot? Is that a public thing? Can you download that somewhere?
I think you subscribe to it or something. I've never used a Blogbot, so I don't know.
No. I tried to look into how they work. I think. I could make like a just a dummy Twitter account and then try to install a Blogbot. Because if he has this, does he link it anywhere? Because I just wonder how many people are on it.
I don't know, but I think he's just tweeted out an article from The Onion, so I assume that he knows that's a joke. Just sounds like if I reply, will you block me? Who's liked it? Who's like this? I don't. Tiny people who nobody knows. Right? Okay. Oh God, it's my birth for nation as well. Steve, fucking hell. Anyway, I don't comment that much on my blocking practices, and that's because I don't give a shit about 99.999%.
Because you don't hear about it.
It should go without saying that if I block you, it's because I don't want to hear from you. Once you're blocked, I generally forget about you. Steve says to 99% of the world. I'm
sure PewDiePie will have sleepless nights now. Yeah. I don't care about you, PewDiePie.
Hey, you PewDiePie.
Forget about
Follow a misogynist on Twitter, PewDiePie. Because I'm a semi-regular target of many anti-feminist, anti-SJ shitheads. Hi, Steve. I use bots on this to preemptively block their followers. Yeah, but Steve, you have to understand how that's like spiraling out of control. Where you're turning yourself into a literal meme. Actually,
he is a meme.
Yeah,
meme Shives.
Yeah, exactly. This is why, like, Devon Tracy, I'm calling him Devon Shives these days because he's blocking like you are, and he doesn't even talk to me now, so I guess I must have really got to him. But like, anyway, preemptively blocking followers of people who regularly incite their followers to harass me saves me a ton of time and aggravation. I suppose it would. Unfortunately, this means people who meant me no harm get blocked along with the probable abusers. Yeah, but they're just collateral damage, aren't they, Steve? You know. I mean, if you're a collectivist, you sit there thinking, oh, if you just block everyone and fuck them, then who cares?
I don't even get what can be so... I mean, he obviously gets a lot of hate for the ridiculous things he says on his channel, but I don't understand how... I've never blocked a person, I think. Well, once.
I love this the most, though. When I'm made aware of having blocked someone who didn't deserve it, I unblock and apologize. Yeah, that's never happened, has it, Steve?
I think he did it once.
How do you become unaware?
I think he did it once with one of the bigger YouTubers, wasn't it? I think it was not PewDiePie, but some other big guy that was like...
Cult of Dusty, I think. I think he unblocked him the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Because Cult of Dusty was like, you're all alt-right. It's like, dude, nobody's alt-right. Shut up, you know?
Yeah, okay, this is undoable. If you now have to unblock all those people manually, you have to hire someone for that.
Can you even imagine? He's having a look at his block list going, fucking hell, 3.2 million people? Oh, shit.
You have to manually review them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Like, oh, it's a fucking idiot, Steve.
He also acts as if it's some kind of privilege to be on his Twitter. When I'm made aware of having blocked someone who didn't deserve it, I unblock and apologize. Sorry that you could not access the greatness that is my tweets.
Yeah, I imagine he then tipped his fedora.
Yeah, it's all I ever wanted, and he took that away from me.
I'd rather have to occasionally unblock and make amends than deal with hundreds of thousands of abusive notifications. Steve, we saw the notifications. They were, if I tweet at you, will you block me? That's like 90% of what people tweet at you.
Exactly. It became such a meme that's actually what people are saying.
Yeah, they're not insulting you anymore, Steve. They're just amazed. I can live with unnecessary blocking a few people here and there. I can live with it for a couple of reasons. Yeah, everyone can live with it, Steve. It's just fucking Twitter. We're just mocking you, you moron, because you're funny. But, yeah. First, blocking isn't malicious or abusive. It's a way of keeping a person from making unwanted contact with you. You started this by saying I'd block the whole world if you could build me a blog bot large enough, Steve.
Steve wants to build a wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Around his Twitter.
A cyber wall. Isn't that racist, Steve? You're blocking loads of brown.
The wall just got bigger, Sargon.
You just got a block bot for YouTube as well. Blocking doesn't mean I hate you or I find you guilty of some terrible crime. It does mean you find them guilty of a thought crime, Steve. You literally said at the beginning, I block anyone who follows misogynists online. You know, fuck's sake. Blocking means I'm not interested in hearing from you. Duh. I'm sure I'm blocked by people too. How could anyone have blocked you? How could they do that? You can't go to your profile to block someone if they have you blocked, right?
No, you can't.
Oh, can yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
wait. Can you? Well,
I don't think you can. That's why I had to sign out to see anything about his profile.
I'll check. He has me blocked, but I'll see if I can block him. Steve.
Oh, fucking username and password. The fuck are you talking about?
Steve Shives. Yeah. No, I can still block him.
Oh, can you?
I can. Maybe I should. It's like there. Take that.
Yeah, take that, Steve. But
yeah, man.
Look, see, I'm blocked from using his tweets. Where do I go to block him?
What?
Oh, right. Right. Okay.
You did a little cog.
I thought there was normally there's buttons, aren't there? I'm a retard with Twitter. Okay. So yeah, fuck you, Steve.
Block Steve.
What are you fucking saying? Yeah!
It would be hilarious. Imagine that just one night
I'm not
Steve
gonna
is
block
like...
him. One day he might unblock me and I might actually want to hear from him. You know, if he finally finds the stones to talk to me one day.
It would be hilarious if you'd see that then everyone unblocked him back.
Yeah.
And then he can never talk to anyone again.
Oh, Steve, I'm so sorry.
Poor guy.
Yeah, sorry, what were you saying before I interrupted there?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, I was going to say how you can block him, I think.
Okay, yeah, cool.
So.
Okay. People have every right to block me for whatever reason they wish, and they don't owe me any explanation. Okay, Steve. But it's... yeah, Steve, it's not a fucking legal ruling, mate. it's just one of those things that when you in interpersonal interactions, sometimes people don't want to be total dicks. You know, like, you know, if I walk past someone and I say hi to them and they just blank me, they have every right to do that. But that's not them not being a dick, is it, Steve? You know?
Yeah, I think this just shows how important he thinks it is, because he goes into full detail about the very difficult process of blocking and all the implications it has. Like, it's not even that important to a lot of people. He takes this way more seriously than the people he has blocked to.
Holy shit,
The
he
thing
really
is,
does.
the people he owes the explanation are blocked, so they won't see this.
that's my,
I didn't block you because I hate you. Oh, sorry, I can't see that because I'm blocked, bitch.
yeah, so I'm just going to naturally assume. I mean, why the fuck wouldn't you? But yeah, I love this, right? I never once tweeted about someone blocking me either as whine or brag. I don't give a shit because I'm such a fucking edgelord, said Steve. Second, who you choose to follow tells me something about you. It's like,
No, it
okay,
doesn't.
Steve. Yeah, exactly. It literally tells you that they're a person who uses Twitter who wants to hear what that person is saying. That doesn't
I
mean you
follow
can make...
Donald Trump, for fuck's sake. I don't
Exactly.
like the guy.
I follow Donald Trump. I follow Hillary Clinton. I used to follow Anita Sarkeesian until she
I'd
blocked
follow
me.
Hitler, to be
Yeah,
honest.
exactly. Honestly, I follow these people because I want to hear what they're saying. That doesn't mean I agree with them, Steve. You know, it's...
If nobody ever paid attention to people, okay, so in his mind, Donald Trump is probably the worst thing that has ever happened to America, right? In his perfect world, just no one would pay attention to what he was saying. That sounds quite dangerous.
yeah, the idea that Donald Trump's got like 50 followers on Twitter or something. It's like, dude, he's like a major presidential candidate. Of course, millions of people who hate Donald Trump follow Donald Trump.
Yeah, but it's also a matter of know your enemy. If you are worried about someone, you need to know what they're saying.
Obviously. I bet Donald Trump follows Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
I might check that, actually.
It would be funny if they blocked each other.
Oh, I would love that. That would be hilarious. Right, following 41. Is Hillary one of them?
Can you see if someone has... Can you check that somehow?
What? See if someone's blocked
if an account has blocked people.
I have no idea. I'm sure there are people who can. But no, I hate to break this to Hillary Clinton, but Donald Trump does not follow her on Twitter.
Oh my god.
That is embarrassing.
And the other way around?
Good question. Good question.
They don't follow each other. That's so childish. I unfollowed you because we're now in a presidential race against each other.
She follows loads, but her Twitter account isn't actually run by her, I don't think.
I don't think so, because they talk about her in third person. That would be really weird.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be fucking weird? But yeah, so I don't think that she does, but she's got hundreds, so I'm not going to bother looking. But anyway, go on, Steve. Carry on with the thought police. The Inquisition continues. If you choose to follow someone who is an outspoken anti-feminist, that tells me something about you. Yeah, that tells you that person wants to be informed. That's it. That person, the very most you can take from that is they want to hear what they say. You know,
the skeptic feminist follows me.
Yeah, exactly. I've got loads of feminists who follow me, and they fucking hate me. And it's like, you know, do you hate them as well now, Steve? If you choose to follow someone who's an outspoken racist, then that tells me something about you. Steve, I'd follow you, buddy. You know, I follow Jessica Valenti, mate. You know, so, I mean, I guess that must tell you something about me. So she is an outspoken racist, sexist, fucking name the gender, name the category, name whatever it is. Jesus. But if you choose to follow someone who declares something like social justice is cancer, then that tells you something about you. Okay.
Is he going to give like 10 more examples of this?
I hope so, but I just need to speak to you. There we go.
Many people are not going to know where that came from.
Nope, that's okay. If you choose to follow angry white dudes,
He is going to give a lot of examples.
Oh god, whose content consists of punching down at marginalized people. That tells. I love punching down.
Isn't he punching down now? Isn't he a white man?
Well, yeah. I mean, Steve is such an ubermensch that everything he does is considered punching down because he's just amazing. Hang on. Sorry, I've got to find this one picture. I can't go without putting this one picture up when talking about Steve as being an ubermensch.
Oh god. Oh my god.
I think I'll just leave that there for the remainder. It's so fucking. But yeah, so yeah, he's always punching down. Basically, he's basically a stallion, a god among men. He can't not punch down. That's the position that Steve's in at the moment.
Greek god.
Yeah, but yeah, like some sort of new Adonis is all we're saying, right? So yeah, but this is what drives me crazy, right? Punching down at marginalized people is, Steve, like most people consider themselves on the same level as other people, regardless of their status. You know, it's not like these people like think less of other people because they are in different social groups or categories or anything like that. So
yeah, and if he would consider like women or something as a marginalized group, he probably does. I've never felt marginalized in my life.
I mean,
and
I
just hate it if people would look at me that way.
Exactly. That just makes him sound like he thinks less of women, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah, he'll look at you and think that you're this
inferior to his white maleness.
Yeah. Steve Shives, the god of blocking and muting. Blockicus.
I love the idea that there's a blocking culture and a blocking community. They create their block bots.
There need to be more memes about this, to be honest.
They do. Devon Tracy and Steve Shives are forming the blocking community. Devon, thing is, they've got their opposition. Steve is okay with blocking everyone with the block bot, but Devon does it by hand like a man. All right, he blocks manually, one at a time. Boom.
Like the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not some hammer.
He's not some pussy. He's a bot just for convenience. All right. So, sorry. These are my two favorite lolcows on the internet. Everyone, I'm really sorry. I've just got lots of history with these people, and I find it so funny to mock them because they are so petty, and I just can't help myself. And I know that means makes me petty as well. But fuck you. This is my fucking stream, and I'm gonna mock you guys.
Yeah, we'll make geek jokes and use exclamation marks.
Yeah.
Piss off.
Yeah, I'll sit here and marginalize Griffin Hooks because all I want. Oh, I'm so sorry, dude.
No, it's alright.
Yeah, so does who you follow enables me to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're someone I'm better off ignoring? No, but if it's a hell of a clue, okay. But it's not though, is it? You know, you just said no. Oh,
I just imagine him writing this before he tweeted it, like on a parchment with a huge feather. He probably
Do you think he's got a program on a tablet to simulate a parchment with a feather? I should make that for him. But yeah, so I love this. I love the fucking thought policing. You know, it doesn't mean that I can know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're like a thought criminal. No, but it makes me think you really fucking are, and you better watch your fucking step. You know, it's like, he sounds like he's the head of the Inquisition, like the Catholic Church or something. You know?
Someone that's this is an you need to Photoshop this. Someone out there has to Photoshop that.
Yeah, Pope Inquisition. With Devon Tracy as his Inquisitor. True, not everyone who follows such people agrees with them. Some follow shitty people just to keep track of them. Yes, in fact, loads of people do that, Steve. You know, most of the people I follow,
very common.
It's just to see the stupid shit they're going to say. Those folks
Why I follow Steve.
Yeah, exactly. I would totally follow Steve. Honestly, most of my Twitter is just me following people I don't like. So every time they say something that I know is either factually wrong or logically inconsistent, I can just ask them a pertinent question to piss them off. I swear to God, that is
welcome to Twitter.
Yeah, no, seriously, literally, I've got like dozens and dozens of people, like just regressives, all the regressives I can, like CJ Wellerman, fucking Mo Ansar, fucking Glenn Greenwald, all of them. I follow them just for as soon as they're going to say something stupid, I'll just ask them a question. Sort of like, like Mo Ansar will be like, oh, Islam's a religion of peace. I'm like, okay, well, why did these listeners blow themselves up then? And it's not me insulting him. It's just me asking a question about the part of the argument he's leaving out, forcing him to address it or get angry at me. But you can't legitimately blocking someone on the basis of what happened. Well, they asked me a question. That's what people laugh at Steve Shives for, Most people can't justify blocking for asking a question. So that's what I do all day. It's brilliant.
Yeah, there have been people that showed screenshots of how Steve said something, and then they said, I politely disagree, and he blocked them. It's just so good. It's comedy gold.
Dude, this is amazing. I know I should be like less childish about it, but I don't care. It's so funny. But yeah, those folks count for most of those. I later find myself compelled to unblock. They aren't a big group. You're not really giving anyone the benefit of the doubt, though, are you, Steve? Most of the people who follow bigoted, abusive ignoramuses,
Like Sargon.
like Sargon,
And his
no, he has
and his exclamation marks.
He's called me. I think it was the internet's biggest abuser, and I was like, "Thank you, Steve."
Can confirm.
That is, yeah, exactly. Can confirm. That is, mate. I don't want to be like the third biggest abuser. Where's the glory in that? You know,
Yeah, that's not the right mentality in life. That's not how you
exactly.
get
That's just second loser. Fucking, runner up. Fucking Jesus Christ, no, no way. So yeah, thanks. And they like them, agree with them, and find them entertaining. It's like, have you considered that maybe so many people are agreeing with the quote bigoted, abusive ignoramuses because you are in fact deliberately mischaracterizing them, Steve? I mean, it's obvious that you are. But if you have such a person, he's no interest in hearing from you.
Sorry, my mom's bringing in food.
That's all right. But yeah, so if you think black culture is a victim cult, you can think it away from me. Jesus Christ, dude. If you think I should go on so-and-so's podcast or hang out because it would be a fun fight to watch, you can share it with someone else. Oh, Steve. If you oppose social justice or enable or apologize for those who do, then we aren't friends and I'm not here for you. If you follow anti-feminist, obnoxious dude, bro atheists, or foes of Black Lives Matter, it's...
Foes of Black Lives Matter. That sounds like a good Marvel film.
Yeah. It's not given that you're a dick, but it's a good bet. I'd rather play the odds because life's too short, blah, blah, blah. Fucking hell, Steve. You actually had to go on like a large Twitter rant over the fact that you would, if possible, block the entire world.
You should sell the story to the Huffington Post. They'd probably post it.
Honestly, I'm amazed they haven't. I can't believe this. I'm surprised this isn't already on Medium, because that's the thing that anyone could have done. He should have done it there, and then he could have just fucking... Damn, did he arrange this himself? I don't know how these moments work. So is this something Steve put together himself as like a... Look at this angry tirade I went on Twitter.
How many people follow him anyway?
Probably about 2,000. I have no idea. No. I'm not even logged in. What? How has he done this? Steve Shows is so good at blocking people.
I just wonder how he deals with the real world.
No, hang on. I must be logged in out on the... Yeah, no, sorry. But holy shit.
Maybe if you refresh...
yeah, we'll try again.
3,000 followers.
Wow.
Guy in YouTube, liberal.
Progressive atheist. Supporter of feminism, social justice.
We're with friends. Well, yeah, there are only 3 people left that you can talk to. Tries to do good.
He's so cute. Everything's going great for Steve.
Wait, did he just share something about Trump? That means...
Yeah, it's an onion thing. I assume he knows that it's like an onion thing. It's Amanda Marco. Jesus Christ, she's another feminist loon. She wrote an article, and I'm not making this up. Politics writer for Salon.com, if you were curious.
Oh,
yeah,
that tells me a lot.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean you're a dick, but it's a good clue. Look at that fucking frog.
Dude,
fucking cunt.
Maybe Steve's got a point. I'm gonna get my shit together. Hang on. Right, okay. So, the reason I say Amanda Marco is because I'm well aware of Amanda Marco from Gamergate, where she wrote an article for, I can't remember, it was something Panda or something. But she wrote an article for this site, and it was literally called "Gamergate is an attack on ethical journalism." Which was just, I mean, they had said a lot of things, but they'd never turned around and said that their journalism was ethical, and with good reason. I mean, they knew that it obviously wasn't. But Amanda actually went there, and that was my favorite moment of Gamergate. I think, when, that was the best bit. But okay. Oh my God. If you hate Trump because he's a pig, but your husband loves him, then that means your husband is a pig. Holy shit.
Lots of poetic value in that.
But I just thought, so what is she recommending? So you need to divorce your husband? What?
Yes.
Oh,
Sargon.
shit.
Yes.
Jesus, Amanda.
Divorce your husband.
I will. I'll let him know.
Kick him out.
It's hard enough for women to smile and to nod at men while secretly having feminist thoughts. It causes too much psychic pain.
Just imagine this psycho bitch.
Holy shit. Is there a hidden Hillary Clinton vote among women? I doubt it, to be honest. I really doubt it. Oh God, I want more from Amanda. I want more of her thoughts. Certainly, while the media obsesses over emails that Clinton didn't send, Black and Latino voters she's trying to reach care about issues. Yeah, okay. Talk feminism, Amanda. It's really fucking funny. All right, fuck it. Right, okay. So this has been fun. I think I've had a fun time. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate that.
Thanks for having me on.
That's my pleasure. And yeah, so the link to Gryffix' channel will be in the description. She's really good. She does much better videos than I do.
No way.
Yeah, the thing is the patriarchy is keeping her down. So
that is true.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I don't think I've had the single video title with an exclamation mark.
So she's doing it wrong, basically. She doesn't know what she's doing. Fucking amateur. And she doesn't have anyone blocked on Twitter, so don't follow her on Twitter or anything, and just fucking, leave her alone. Don't harass her on the internet, you fucks.
It's kind of hot, though.